And we are now live with today's briefing. Again, I hope to keep all of these now under 35 minutes. Starting off, the main thing is, of course, the risk level. We are watching this level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk. That's generally what we've seen lately in terms of severe storms. 3 out of 5 again. That means that numerous severe storms are possible or likely, more widespread and or persistent. And then also, they are storms that you see once or twice per year. We've already seen them more than that. So this entire area of the orange is an enhanced risk. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Our severe wind, I don't know why this is a bit messed up, but our severe wind is currently relatively high, but still a category intensity level 1. And I have just received word of a tornado watch now being in effect for the Chicago area. I was about to talk about that, but I have just received information right now of that. So we will go into that now that that has been extended in. We're watching that wind risk. Tornado risk, still relatively good in terms of tornado. Chicago is more on this weird area where it's like, it's 5%. You see several, and that does bring up a watch, but again, it's also something that isn't going to guarantee a tornado in the long run. And then hail, there's no hail threat really at all. Looking at our NATO cast, that is showing that, generally speaking, supporting that tornado risk that we have. The Colorado State University map also supports the SPC, so there's no arguing with the SPC in this one. Do want to look at a sounding. This was taken near Davenport, so if we have anybody in the Davenport area, that would be from here. This just shows there are storms now ongoing over there. However, we've got good curvature that could support that tornado, especially in that area. That area is really going to see a tornado possibly. Supercell numbers already very high. Pretty much all the numbers are high in terms of that. Looking at our SPC meso analysis, you can see that these are actually already storms popping up. Those are not the main concern. The National Weather Service has said those are just going to be scattered storms. This system is it's going to be the main concern, that entire thing, because there is a cold front behind there that would push that and turn it into a wind risk. If we look at our supercell numbers, they're decent, especially in Iowa. As they move, they do get strongish. For Chicago, they do end up reducing, though. Right now, Chicago's looking at great instability as those storms move through. Very strong instability through the night. I want to look at a derecho composite number. That can actually tell you, because derechos are like these really long-lasting wind events. And that seems like what we are watching right now. And the last derecho we saw actually did bring several tornadoes through Chicago. There was a record of 20. So, again, another thing to keep an eye on. Numbers are relatively high, 6 to 8, supporting that. However, we do need to talk about that tornado watch that was just issued now to include Chicago. It's actually a separate watch, which is interesting. What? I'm doing a video. Yes. I'm doing another. If this watch ever pulls up, which it is not doing, I have to put in a few more. Tornado watch number 131. Primary hazard would be moderate risk for tornadoes. Main threat being that severe wind. And timing-wise, we will go over the timing in just a little while. Mainly lots of warnings now, mostly tornado warnings too. Probabilities, tornado is only 40%. Lower threat of one or more strong tornadoes. Wind, all that, overall 95%. It's the wind threat that's very high for this system in particular. Including, it's a little weird because they included Chicago, even because it could have been included in 2 watches. So definitely an interesting overlap that we see between that system as it moves into the area. In terms of the weather story, this is the National Weather Service's information. We did see these storms that are forming around here. Early round of storms 2 to 5. We knew that was going to happen. Round 2 will be more persistent, widespread, and then non-severe storms continuing through the evening. Primary arrival for Chicago, 9 p.m., just about. You could see warnings around 8. That's definitely a possibility, but laying out time frame now, we look to our HRRR, which shows these cells right here. They'll move out, and then these other ones will move in. And this mainly is not displaying a tornado risk as much. Main arrival anywhere between 8 and 10 on this model. You can see it's not incredibly high, no very high numbers. So there's a threat, but it's looking like that's not the primary hazard for this storm as it moves through. We are also watching significant flooding to occur again. Primary rain with this system, about 1.5 inches by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So something to watch out for as that moves through. Looking briefly at our sounding, I know it says that there is no possible hazard type. However, it does look like there is a possible hazard type of tornado. Zooming in, I want to get in quickly over here. Nothing high in terms of the significant severe. That's all just... It signifies severe but not significant severe as expected. It shows somewhat decent tornado numbers, but again, the primary threat with this storm is the wind, possibly up to 80 miles per hour as it moves through between 8 and 9 tonight. That's the tornado watch. Flooding again. Talk about the flooding. Here we are with our flooding threat. Periods of torrential downpours, and these storms would last through the evening, through the night, I should say. Greatest threat near the Illinois and Wisconsin line, where the soil is still most saturated. A lot of areas are probably still saturated, though. So still, prepare for additional rises in river levels along the Rock, Des Plaines, Fox, and Kankakee River basins. And just don't drive or walk across flooded roads, I believe. The saying is, turn around, don't drown. This evening and overnight. That is all for this. Thank you so much for tuning in.